Vertical today. Morning to you. I'm going to talk about the insane power of deadlines. Good morning to you. Having coffee, just trying to wake up here. It's Thanksgiving in America, so we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving today. Human behavior is endlessly interesting. So one of my favorite stories, I think I tell this in Book of Secrets, bigbookofsecrets.com. If you don't have it, you should get it. It's one of my best products. One time when I was trying to become a freelance writer, it was a painful, long process because I didn't know anybody who did what I wanted to do. Direct response copywriting. In this part of the United States, there weren't a lot of jobs for it. Most people didn't know what it was. You could write for an ad agency, but that was a different, totally different thing. So I was doing telemarketing in the evenings, attempting to be a freelance writer in the daytime. And I had this job at this dating service in Dallas. And it cost $2,000 at the time. This was 25 or 35 years ago, $2,000 to join. And they let the hot women join for free. So the people who paid were mostly guys, mostly like age 40. But a lot of them had good jobs and stuff, very engineers and people like that, right? They just maybe weren't genetically real good looking, or they were shy, or, a little boring or something. So we had a Christmas party, and it was the week of the Christmas party. We'd only sold 2 tickets. 2. And I mean, here we're going to have a Christmas party. The people paid $2,000 to join. And if they showed up and there were only 2 people there, well, it was Katie bar the door, whatever that means. I don't even know what Katie bar the door means, to be honest, but it like bad. I'm from Oklahoma. That meant bad, right? All heck would break loose. So the telemarketing manager was like, I didn't understand some of the stuff he did. Some of the things that he did I thought were really stupid, but he was also experienced, and he did understand. He had been doing a lot, and he understood some things, right? So he comes into the telemarketing room and he says, listen, we've only sold 2 tickets to this Christmas party, and we got to sell this thing out. He's like, the next person that asks how many tickets we have left for the party, I want you to tell them 2. And I'm pretty sure Barb's about to sell one of them. Barb was our best phone person, right? And so sure enough, the next person I talked to, the guy's like, well, how many tickets do you got left? I said, well, sir, 2. Pretty sure Barb's about to sell one of them. The guy's like, thinks about it. I'm like, well, okay, I'll go ahead and get one of them. It's what everybody else did, right? So within a week, we sold out the Christmas party. Sold it out. It was a great Christmas party. Everybody was happy. And so, but you know what? If we'd never said there's 2 tickets and Barb's about to sell one of them, it would have been an awful thing, because like 5 people would have showed up, and it would have been terrible. It would have been just awful, just horrible. And so this is the power of scarcity, because we'd been working hard to sell those stupid tickets. We've been working hard. Talked to a lot of freaking people. Couldn't sell a freaking ticket for the life of me. And this is like sometimes the power of scarcity. It's the human, we're all, I think, and this was 30 years ago, 35 years ago. I don't know. I was young, under 30, I think. But we have this thing where we're all, I think, work by urgency. Most people do, by what's really urgent, right? And so good morning to you, by the way. Give me a shout out if you're on. Let me know you're here. If you watch it live, type live, watch on replay, type replay, watch the bitter end, type bitter end. But so we all have this urgency thing. We do what's really urgent. Unless something's urgent, it probably doesn't get our attention. So I have my offer right now at I have several. Resellertoolkit.com /OMNI with the number 2. That's the webinar or the video sales letter. It's not really a webinar, it's a video sales letter. Resellertoolkit.com /Omni2. Now, and then we have the main sales letter, resellertoolkit.com 2020-minute. And then I sent out one yesterday, which was just the offer part, where I stripped off my I copied that part. I had the seminar transcribed in one click. Incredible. Then I stripped off my voice and added the voice of artificial intelligence voice of Nancy. I deleted the parts that were try before you buy, because the try before you buy offer is over, and I replaced it with other text, and it's called overdub, and you can literally place in new text and it'll sound like that's just how it was recorded. It's freaking amazing. This is one of the technologies that I show and talk about in the training. And so then I went ahead and I put that on a sales page. I sent it out to everybody by email, but I don't remember the sales page. I should have made it a short URL. Instead, it's like 3 words with dashes. My lightning fast mind did that. But anyway, if you check email, you'll find it. It's really cool because the freaking thing's in Nancy's voice. I think there's a mistake or two in it, because I did it before Fast Track last night. I didn't take the time to listen to the whole thing. I think there's one thing in there where I needed to change the text a little bit so it would read correctly. Sounds phenomenal though. And this is like this, you get 1 hour free of this a month. And I tell about the program in the training and what it is and everything. But then there are other text to voice programs that I think the voices are even better. This one sounds good, pretty darn good. I mean, there's some programs are freaking amazing, right? But they don't give you a free hour a month. So what I did though was the try before you buy was over, and since then we sold some, but the sales were like slow post the actual event. I don't know why, but like people will try before you buy for the event, but then they'll go ahead and pay $77 instead of the try before you buy. I don't know. The psychology of it's a little bit strange, right? But because it's an event, even they don't attend, it's easier to sell. Once the event's over, it's harder to sell. So anyway, make a long story short, I did the last chance offer last night, which I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to just close it down. It'll either be $100 more, or I'll just flat out close it down. I haven't decided which. At least $100 more. Maybe I'll just flat out close it down. So this is like the final, the final offer, right? And so it sold real well. And that's the power of the deadline. Like if you don't, I don't really like to close out offers. I mean, you can open them back up later. Sometimes I usually open them back up at a higher price, not always, but usually. But it's the power of the deadline. It's the power of the scarcity, if that makes sense. It's a very potent thing. And I originally found this out. In fact, I was probably the first one to use really hard scarcity a lot in their emails. And I know that may or may not sound egotistical to you, but understand I've been doing this since 1997. So I did a lot of things that were the first simply because I was there first. We made small fortunes off of only 27 available, 7 available bonus offers, right? Get the bonus before this date, 72 hours left to get the bonus, all of those things. I mean, we made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sales from those emails. Nobody else was doing it at the time, to my knowledge. I didn't know everybody. I didn't read every freaking email from every freaking person. But I didn't see people doing this until I taught it in, God, I think it was Occam's Razor, where I taught the method. And then after I taught it, started catching on. I started seeing a lot of people doing it, right? I'm sure other people will tell you I'm full of it, but then again, they probably weren't even there then, or they weren't full time. They're, in any event, I did it because I understood the power of the deadline from working in a freaking telemarketing room. I learned a lot from working in telemarketing rooms. It was a hard thing to do. I mean, like, telemarketing is really freaking hard. It's really, really, really hard. But it's also fun. Like, you meet the most fascinating, interesting people. Some of them are living out of their cars, literally, just different people in different circumstances. It's pretty interesting. And I was pretty darn good in the phone rooms. And it's a side story, but like, for the dating service, I'd call people up and it'd be like, "Hey, John, I'm here at the Great Expectations. Hey, are you watching this football game? Holy crap, I can't believe they're up by 20 points." I'd sit there and have a conversation with the guy for 5 or 10 minutes before he ever knew who I was or what company I was really with, what I was selling. I mean, it's hard to believe. It's really hard to believe someone could do that. And that'd be like, "Wait a minute, who are you? Why are you calling?" "Oh yeah, like I said, I'm from Great Expectations." And it's what we did. I did the same thing for oil company leads to generate. Man, this is like the hardest job, was generating leads for oil investments. Holy crap, that was a hard job. You supposedly had these leads from investors or people interested in oil investing, but those leads were crap. God, that was a tough job. I mean, a really, really, really hard job. But you learned a lot, right? The most interesting one, though, the most interesting phone room was for selling credit card insurance for Sears and Roebuck. That was just a wild room. Like, the people in there were just, wow, just wild, right? Like, one guy, the way he survived, I think, living in the hood, was he had all of this paraphernalia and hats and things he sold out of his trunk. I'm assuming this was paraphernalia members of certain groups would buy, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Anyway, I just made you a lot of money. It's fascinating to me that probably while I'm doing this, a number of people came on and dropped off, right? And like, it's fascinating to me that just cost them over a career $1 million if they didn't get what I just said. It's at least $1 million over a career, and probably much more than that. Depends on how your lead generation is. Depends on the price point of your products, right? I mean, it's just an enormously, it's crazy. It's an enormously powerful, potent thing. So anyway, U.S. today's Thanksgiving. I'll be having turkey here in a little bit, I'm sure. We'll be hanging, we'll have friends, be with friends. Hope you're having a good day. if you're not using the power of scarcity, it's very powerful. Now, a lot of people hate false scarcity, and there's all these other issues surrounding the use of scarcity. There's actually legal issues with the Federal Trade Commission. So the best thing you can do is do your darndest to make it real scarcity, right? Or have software like Deadline Funnel, or I use Thrive Ultimatum that will make it lock down, so it's real scarcity. There's those considerations, but what I can tell you is it really works, and it's also interesting to me. I mean, it's fascinating. Like if I do a live event that people don't attend, because most people that sign up for a live event don't attend. If I do a live event that people don't attend, they'll pay for it far more readily than they will the recording of the live event. Really makes no sense. The only way that it makes sense to me is that the live event gives it a real hardcore date and it creates urgency. It's the only thing that makes any sense. That's the way our humans' brains are hardwired for urgency. Hope this is an insight to you. It can make you a heck of a lot of money if you take it, use it, and apply it. Appreciate you being here today. See you tomorrow. Have a great, if you're in the U.S., have a great Thanksgiving. Bye.